Today you're going to listen to some powerful tips that can change your life forever, but only if you decide to stay on this video and apply what I'm about to tell you. The government prints money while you chase it. The rich build systems while you build budgets. Understanding the difference between earning income and creating wealth through strategic business structures isn't taught in schools because broke people design curriculums. Your LLC isn't just a business entity. It's your first step toward financial sovereignty. Listen, I'm going to share something with you that most people will scroll past, and that's exactly why they'll stay broke. While everyone's arguing about minimum wage and complaining about taxes, there's a parallel economy running right above their heads where business owners are legally paying less than their employees. Yes, you heard that right. I remember sitting in my accountant's office back in 2009, looking at my personal tax return, and nearly losing my mind. I was making decent money, but the government was taking almost 40%. My accountant, Jim, brilliant guy, drives a Bentley, looked at me and said, "Franklin, you're playing the wrong game. Employees pay taxes then spend. Business owners spend, then pay taxes." That one sentence changed my entire financial trajectory. Here's what nobody tells you about LLCs. They're not just for people with million-dollar ideas or tech startups. An LLC is literally a legal shield and a tax strategy wrapped into one beautiful package. I've helped over 300 entrepreneurs set up their business structures in the past 15 years, and the ones who moved fastest are now the ones sending me Christmas cards from their vacation homes in Cabo. Let me break down what's actually happening while you're sleeping. The tax code in the United States, and similar structures exist in Canada, France, and Mexico, is written to favor business owners. Not because of some conspiracy, but because businesses create jobs, stimulate economies, and take risks. The government rewards risk takers. When you operate as an individual, you're in the highest taxed category. When you operate as a business entity, suddenly you have access to deductions that employees can't even dream about. If you want to stop being part of the 99% and finally build wealth, subscribe now. This channel is your wake-up call. Your home office? Deductible. Your car that you use for business meetings? Deductible. That laptop you're watching this on. If you use it for business, it's deductible. Your health insurance, retirement contributions, even portions of your meals when you're discussing business, all deductible. But only if you're operating through the right structure. I've seen people save $15,000 to $30,000 in their first year just by shifting from being a freelancer to an LLC owner. That's not chump change. That's a used car, a down payment on investment property, or seed money for your next venture. Now let's talk about stimulus money because this is where it gets interesting. During the pandemic, while W-2 employees were getting their $1,200 checks, LLC owners who understood the system were accessing PPP loans, EIDL grants, and employee retention credits that totaled in the tens of thousands. I'm not talking about fraud. I'm talking about legal programs designed specifically for business owners. My friend Carlos in Mexico City runs a small digital marketing agency, received equivalent support through Mexican government programs. Same story in Montreal with my colleague Marie who runs a consulting firm. The employee retention credit alone allowed businesses to claim up to $26,000 per employee. Even if you were a solopreneur with an LLC and you paid yourself as an employee, you qualified. But here's the kicker. You had to have the business structure in place. You couldn't retroactively create an LLC and claim benefits. The people who were already positioned in the right structure were the ones who capitalized. I've run multiple businesses simultaneously for the past 8 years, managing teams across different sectors, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, the wealthy don't work harder. They work smarter within better structures. When I lecture at entrepreneurship seminars, I always start with this question. How many of you want to make more money? Every hand goes up. Then I ask, how many of you have a business entity? Maybe 20% of hands stay up. That's the gap between wanting wealth and actually positioning yourself to build it. Setting up an LLC isn't complicated. It's literally a few hours of work and a few $100s depending on your state. Delaware, Wyoming, and Nevada are popular for their business-friendly laws and privacy protections. In Canada, you're looking at provincial incorporation. In France, you have the SRL structure. In Mexico, the Sociedad de Responsabilidad Limitada. The principles remain consistent: limited liability protection and tax advantages. Here's what blows my mind. People will spend $3,000 on a vacation that lasts 1 week, but won't invest $300 in a business structure that could save them thousands annually for decades. I'm not your motivational speaker telling you to hustle harder. I'm your financial advisor telling you to structure smarter. There's a massive difference. Now, I put a lot of time into researching this content, and my team spends hours editing, fact-checking, and making sure you get actionable information that could literally change your financial future. If you're finding value in what I'm sharing, hit that subscribe button. We prioritize responding to subscribers in the comments because you're the ones who show up consistently. This isn't just content, it's a wealth-building community, and your subscription tells me you're serious about leveling up. Jeff Bezos didn't pay federal income taxes in certain years, legally, through business structures, strategic timing of stock sales, and deductions. Warren Buffett has famously said he pays a lower tax rate than his secretary, not because of loopholes, but because of how business income versus employment income is taxed. These aren't anomalies, they're features of understanding the system. You don't need to be a billionaire to use the same strategies on a smaller scale. Here's my challenge to you. Stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a business owner, even if you're currently employed. You can have a side LLC while working your 9 to 5. Your employer doesn't own your evenings and weekends. That freelance work you do, run it through an LLC. That consulting you do on the side, LLC. That e-commerce store you've been thinking about, LLC. The rideshare driving, the content creation, the handyman services, all can be legitimized and optimized through proper business structure. I want to hear from you in the comments. Where are you watching from, and what's holding you back from starting your LLC? Is it fear? Confusion? Thinking you're not ready? Drop your location and your biggest obstacle below. Also, check out my last video in the description where I break down the 7 streams of income every wealth builder needs. It connects perfectly with today's content. The difference between where you are financially and where you want to be isn't usually income, it's structure. The same money flowing through the right channels can build wealth instead of just paying bills. Your LLC is the first channel. Everything else builds from there. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. And stop letting the tax code work against you when it could be working for you. This is Franklin, reminding you that wealth isn't about what you make. It's about what you keep and how you structure what you keep to make more. I'll see you in the next one.